But I got to tell you, in the past 3 years, I'm not saying that the herniated disc disappeared and the arthritis went away. I'll never say that. But what I will say is that overall, I feel so much better.
Welcome to the Well with Cannabis podcast, a show dedicated to telling the life-changing stories of those who live well with cannabis, all while teaching you how to do the same. Meet your host, Emily Kyle, a registered dietitian nutritionist turned certified holistic cannabis practitioner. Emily changed her life for the better with the help of the cannabis plant, and now she is committed to helping others do the same. Tune in each week to hear heartwarming stories and gain the knowledge you need to feel connected, inspired, and supported on your own cannabis journey. Whether you're a new cannabis consumer or a lifetime lover, you'll benefit from these uplifting tales of real-life journeys that will show you how you too can live your best life well with cannabis.
Before we jump into today's episode, I wanted to share a note on potentially sensitive content. The episodes on the Well with Cannabis podcast are created for adult audiences only. We will at times cover sensitive topics, including but not limited to suicide, abuse, mental illness, sex, drugs, alcohol, psychedelics, and the obvious use of plant medicine. Explicit language may be used occasionally. Please refrain from watching or listening to the show if you're likely to be offended or adversely impacted by any of these topics. The information on this show is for informational and educational purposes only. It does not constitute medical advice. If any of the content on this podcast has brought up anything for you, please reach out or speak to a professional or someone you trust.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Well with Cannabis podcast. I am here with our special guest, Miss Jennifer Woods, and we are talking all things pain, arthritis, cannabis, and moving forward. So, Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. And I'm excited to get to know you a little bit more and know your journey with cannabis and how you ended up where you are today. So I'm going to give you the floor.
Okay. I do suffer with depression, but the biggest issue over the past, say, 15 years has been the fact that I've always had a really bad back. I've done multiple really, really, really physical jobs for most of my life. And so it's really caught up with me and kind of broke down my back. So I was diagnosed with arthritis in my back, and I know a lot of people are. That's a very common thing. The pain was so bad. My husband was always telling me, you just need to stretch. You just need to stretch. That's all you need to do. Just stretch. I don't know why you're not stretching every day. But anyways,
like, what?
So I ended up having an MRI done because I just knew that something was not right in there. It just couldn't, just be from stretching. So I did find out that I had some herniated discs in my back. And, so that just added to the list of pains because I've got some other injury-related pain from breaking a few bones. And then I've got just some nerve damage that kind of went along with that. I do suffer from depression, which is another reason that I turned to cannabis. I live in Arkansas now, but I was born and raised in New Orleans, and I got placed here by Hurricane Katrina.
Wow.
She decided that we were going to get stuck here. So I no longer live in my hometown of New Orleans, but it's depressing. It's sad. So, I'm on all these pills. And
for pain and depression?
No, not for pain. I refuse to take pills for pain unless it's something a little bit more on the simple side, like some ibuprofen.
Yeah.
and Tylenol is just a waste of time for me. But so that's the main thing that has really turned me to come back to cannabis.
Did you leave
because I was
for
a
a while?
teenager? I was a teenager the last time I had done it. And it was different back then. And this was in the 80s. So it was just different, you know. I really did want to point out that I started on my cannabis journey because I knew I wasn't going to go down the pill route because, may he rest in peace, my brother was a pill addict.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It really is. But, you know, just witnessing what he went through as a pill addict, you know, people might say on the outside, man, he'd steal from his own mother. Well, he did, you know, because you need those pills and you need that money and you need those pills and you buy pills off the street. And the pills were destroying him physically. They were just breaking everything down in his body. And if he couldn't get it from the doctor, then he would have to get more off the street. And eventually, and I'm not saying that my brother's issues weren't real because they were. He had broken his back. He was, you know, he had real issues. But it was just the problem of becoming addicted to pills. And it got so bad that he did do a couple of bad things that he should not have to get money, to get more. So with me dealing with my own issues with pain and depression and so forth, which I know, I always feel guilty when I talk about it because I feel like, geez, Jennifer, you're not the only one. You know, there's a lot of people out there who feel the same way. But I just didn't want to go down that same route that my brother did. It's heartbreaking to see what he went through before he died, and that wasn't going to happen with me. And there's a curveball in my story because you know, coming back to cannabis as a grown woman with 2 kids already and 3 grandkids was a challenge. Yes. Because my husband is a drug counselor
Oh
in a jail.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's a certified drug counselor, and you know, his main stance is usually, oh hell no. You know, against anything that's considered drugs. But it's been about 3 years now since I got my first medical card issued here in Arkansas. And we've come a long way in 3 years. For a husband that's a drug counselor and does not want you to do things that you should not do, I had to do a lot of talking, but thank God he did whatever he could to try and support me, even though he had to make some funny faces for a little while because he didn't like it. He didn't like the sound of it. He did not. And we had some arguments, and it was hard. It was very hard. And
I can't even imagine approaching the subject with him. Do you remember what that first conversation was like?
I do, but oh gosh, I think I was just really stressed at the time, and I probably would have cried if a feather flew in front of me. And you know, I was going through a tough time because of the pain.
Yeah.
You know, I'd go to work and cry sometimes because, well, I didn't know yet that I had the bulging disc. I hadn't found out yet, and I would just cry at work, really depressed, not knowing what was wrong with me.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I'll just try and cut the story off there because I have a habit of talking too much. But that's just basically what my journey was and how I got back into smoking, other than the fact that I did it as a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And it was
really
different.
brave to say that you were going to try cannabis, though, with your husband and with kind of all of your life experiences. Was there one thing that made you think, like, I really need to try cannabis? What was it that brought you back to the plant?
My oldest daughter.
Oh my gosh, really? Was she like, Mom, you should try this?
Well, I had been knowing that she had been, smoking for years already. My daughter's a full-grown adult. Okay, she doesn't even live at home anymore. Neither of my kids do. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah. Older kids.
But yeah, I already knew that she did, but I think that just in the midst of my here and there whining and complaining about it, and all my hurt feelings about how I'm so sick and tired of hearing about how I have to stretch every day, which I knew was not the problem. She was just like, yeah, I mean, that's really all she said was, Mom, have you just at least considered giving it a try? And I'm like, yeah, I have, but I'm scared. I was scared. It had been a really long time.
Yeah. Do you remember what that first try was like when you decided to come back to it?
What the first time was like when I came.
When you
back
tried it? Yeah.
Well, what I did was I had gone to the dispensary with my new card, and I got my own stuff because I didn't want to touch their stuff. Okay, first of all, whatever you have sitting here, well, I don't even know where you got it from. I don't want it. This is my experience. Okay, and so to me, it was personal. So I had my own container that I just got, from the dispensary, and they, my daughter's all oohing and ahhing at it.
Yeah.
You could do this? Yeah, you could do it. And she even qualifies for a card. She's got glaucoma, and you know what? She's just, haven't talked to her she's got to get a card. So yeah, it was with my daughter. I mean, my daughter just flat out said, Mom, I think you need to come over. And, because I feel like if it gives you too much anxiety, or, your heart starts pumping, and, you feel like you're going to die and you have no idea why. She's like, I really want to be there to explain to you, Mom, what's happening, in case you don't remember any of this from your teen years. Of course, we didn't even talk about that in our teen years,
Yeah.
And so that's literally what she did, She had her own stuff, over there in the corner, and I brought my fully labeled with my name on it stuff. And I know she gets a giggle out of me with that, but it's okay. It's no big deal. And that's exactly what she did. She talked me through it because I did get anxiety. I was scared. I did think I was going to die. As a matter of fact, I was so high, I thought I sort of like walked out of my body. I wasn't sure where I went. And she's like, Mom, you need some ice water. Okay, but I don't know how I'm going to swallow it because I'm not sure if I have it right. I can't feel it.
Yeah.
So she hands me the water, and I have no idea how I swallowed it. And she goes, Mom. I said, what? Isn't that refreshing? And I was like, God, it really is.
Oh,
and it was then at that point in time that I realized, no matter how paranoid you get, you really can enjoy things a lot more. You can sit down and enjoy a chocolate bar like you have never in your life. Just a sip of water was just as refreshing as she intended it to be. Things just really felt different. I was able to enjoy what I wanted to enjoy. And of course, the anxiety came down later. And that's something that I've learned, that you just have to learn your own, how much you can.
Your tolerance. Yes.
To not feel the bad. And I still mess up,
We all do. It's always an experiment.
Like, oh, just an extra hit or two. It's no big deal. And then that extra hit or two will have me going, oh, Byron, I did it again.
Now, do you remember?
Sorry, just watch out for me in case I disappear.
Do you remember feeling pain relief that time?
Well, I got to tell you, that night I probably, you mean the first night?
Or any time after. Well, you mean sometimes the first night's kind of a blur.
Well, I should probably tell you what I did the first night that I drank the refreshing water that she gave me.
Please do.
I mean, I was so out of my body. I mean, I just didn't feel anything. Once the anxiety parts started to kind of move out, and she's still talking me through everything, but, she's trying to help me feel comfortable. But once that anxiety started moving aside, I started getting a little confident, because I was like, I don't feel anything. I feel no pain. I feel no pain. I mean, I can feel myself, right. But I just had such a wonderful wash over me that it's a little bit difficult to describe. I mean, you're there, but you don't feel any pain, and you're trying to figure out how that works. And I started dancing in the middle of the floor, and I jumped on the floor like I was still 22. And she's just sitting there like, Mom, no, you're going to regret it tomorrow. I was like, let me get my ass up. But I was just overly confident that night. I will not do that again. I'm probably going to break some more bones. I've broken enough.
Oh my gosh. But that sounds like such a fun, reintroduction to cannabis with your daughter there, and
with my oldest daughter.
Yes. And that's how a lot of people are reintroduced to cannabis, is through their children again. And so I'm glad that you shared that, because, maybe now more people will be receptive when their kids say, hey, Mom, maybe you should give this a try.
Right. And even with all this said, I do still struggle. Because
yes, it's not perfect.
Sometimes I struggle, but even though I'm an outgoing person, I do still struggle with my self-esteem. It doesn't matter if I'm out there smiling and talking to 5 people at the party. It doesn't matter. I still struggle a little bit with self-esteem, and the stigma part around that affects my self-esteem. I think it put a little bit of an extra punch in there with my husband being a drug counselor, and the fact that he's been in law enforcement for, over 20 years now. I think that the stigma is still poking at me and making me feel bad about myself. Mm-hmm. I feel like I do have a right to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my little feeling, I'll just get up in my feelings and question, but do you really?
Yes. It's so hard.
It's hard in that way, just because the stigma part of it has been going on for so many years. It's really embedded in us. And in the beginning, my husband would, kind of challenge me with, well, why is that better than you taking an ibuprofen? Because the ibuprofen doesn't work wonders like cannabis does. It's, as long as you learn your body and how you end up reacting to it, and doing just a little bit of reading on the terpenes in different strains. Sometimes some terpenes work better with certain people and some with others. And so you really have to go with how you feel, just keep trying each strain, see what you like. And when you see what you like, look it up and find out what terpenes are in it.
Yeah.
Because you want to know what is making you feel wonderful today.
Yes, absolutely. So you can replicate it and have more of that. Absolutely.
Yeah, but he would challenge me,
How does that look today? Does he see how much it's helped you?
Today, I can give you an actual example of, I don't know, it was sometime during the last week. I don't remember what day, but I did accidentally get a little bit too high. I still do that every now and then.
Happens to the best of us.
You take an extra puff or two and you just don't realize, it. Okay. So I sat next to my husband and we were just watching TV. And, I decided I just wanted to be honest with him about everything and anything.
Yeah.
Because, this is an experience that obviously both of us have had to go through together because he's coming from another side of it. But I looked at him that night and like I said, it was just days ago. It wasn't that long. I said, I just want you to know that I accidentally got just a little bit too high. I'm okay. I'm fine, but I have a little bit of anxiety and, just check on me every couple of minutes, even though you're sitting right next to me, just ask me if I'm okay. So, I'm just kind of getting it out there. Hey, this is how I'm feeling right now. Well, where we are today is that he took that as an opportunity to tell every joke in the book. He likes to make me laugh until I'm red in the face and I'm begging him to stop. He becomes a full-on on-stage comedian.
Oh my gosh, really?
Because as I was learning, he was learning too, because, he's watching me.
Yeah.
So over these past 3 years, he's seen me go through a lot of different strains and how I look or act or talk or how it affects me. And he has learned that if he has any opportunity at all to make me laugh, he is going to kill me laughing. He's going to do it. Oh. He's going to do it. He'll just, and I'll be like, shut up, because I can't, my stomach hurts. I can't laugh anymore. Just stop it. I'll get up and go in the other room. He follows me. He's still telling jokes. So that's where we are today. I believe that my husband still has an uncomfortability about it because that's just the way that it is. And I think that that's why the stigma still pokes at me every now and then.
Yeah.
It's been that way for so long, but my husband's come a long way. I got to give him a shout out for that because
that is amazing. And I'm so glad that you shared that because hopefully somebody who's listening who maybe doesn't have a spouse who's as supportive can see this and realize if he can come around, anybody can come around. And that's a really beautiful thing for a relationship.
You are absolutely right about that. There's always hope.
Yes, that's beautiful. I mean, think about, he's trained to think that this is a very dangerous drug. And if just in 3 years, he can come around and enjoy making you laugh and you guys can giggle together. I mean, that's amazing. I'm super happy for you to hear that.
I'm really happy about it too. I mean, it's obviously a positive in both of our lives. And before I got my card, my daughter told my husband, she was like, Dad, just give her a chance. She'll probably be easier to live with.
Oh my gosh, it's so Sweet and so true.
I feel like I'm easier to live with myself now.
Absolutely. I always say, my husband should be so glad that I use cannabis. He does not, but I'm a much better wife. I nag less. I'm happier. I mean, there's so many other benefits outside of, coming to cannabis for just pain. So many other ways that it can improve your quality of life. I mean, down to your relationships. Your husband doesn't even use cannabis and it benefits him.
And he never will.
Right.
I know my husband and I know he won't. But he in his job he does deal with a lot of other harsher things out there, meth and stuff like that. And I couldn't tell you the first thing about it. I've never done anything like meth or anything like that. Yeah, but he does deal with that.
Which has to be hard.
Cannabis just happens to be the one. I don't know if they have them numbered or not, but maybe cannabis is just the lowest on the list, but it's on the list regardless of
the fact that it's on the list. Yes.
My husband knows that it's not the worst thing out there, but just it being on the list and what he does for a living does make it difficult for him. But we have come so far.
Oh, it is so beautiful. I'm so happy
you just have your to talk family. About it. And I appreciate you more than you know, because this is the way that we start to break the stigma, just being able to talk about it and get it out there that this really is just a natural plant that can help you. And I know that for some people it's not right, and that's okay.
Yes.
It's okay either way, but it is there to help you if it can.
Well, and I should thank you for coming here and for being so brave and to talk about this. It's not easy to talk about our struggles. It's not easy to talk about your brother or your husband, but in doing so, hopefully we reach other people and they hear this and they hear that cannabis is another option. And if it can help your pain, if it can help all of these other amazing kind of aftershocks that come out of it, it's worth it.
100%. I think it's been a miracle.
Oh, I agree.
I'm grateful for it.
My gosh, I know. Well, now I'm thinking of, I always ask my guests the same 4 questions at the end. And I'm going to ask them out of order though, because this one makes more sense. What would your life look like without cannabis?
Well, I think that my depression would have been a lot worse because pain-wise, I would have had to have tried to look down another avenue for some type of pain relief. And I already knew that that was a dangerous road to travel. So I think that, with having that kind of a back issue, I think I would have just continued to be depressed about it. But I got to tell you, in the past 3 years, I'm not saying that the herniated disc disappeared and the arthritis went away. I'll never say that. But what I will say is that overall, I feel so much better because I have less episodes of, oh God, oh, I can't stand, I'm about to crumble to the floor. That has happened way less after getting a good year under my belt of, I really just usually do it once or twice a day, and it's all I need. And my whole life is different over once or twice a day.
It's amazing.
I feel a lot less pain. So I just think that my depression level on that definitely came down because I don't feel as much pain. It's easier. It's so much easier to bear.
Oh, everybody deserves that. Like you said, it's not like it goes away, but to find a little bit of relief, even just a little bit, makes it so worth it. I'm so glad that you went and got your card and have that relief, and now you have your better quality of life, and it's a beautiful thing. Next question. Are you ready?
Yes.
What are you most proud of in your life to date?
Most proud of. Well, I know this is going to sound cheesy, but I guess I got to say it. I really found my creative side after I started smoking cannabis. I'm 51 years old now. And I was like, okay, so how long's it been? I don't know. Maybe 48 years old, I guess, is when I found out I could paint.
Oh my gosh, really?
Didn't know that I could paint. But now I buy, these big 11 by whatever canvases, and my husband's getting me all these acrylic paints and everything. And now all of a sudden, and I don't even want that to come out as like any kind of a brag. But when I sit there and look at a picture and go, oh my God, how did it take me my entire life to even figure that out, that I could do something like this? But I really do especially enjoy painting after having some cannabis, because, and especially with certain strains, you can just really get up on it, and, you just notice every detail, and you're listening to your music, and, you just really focus. And my gosh, that has been mental therapy in itself. But I am proud of it, because it's pretty cool to find out that you know how to paint and you really didn't know before, like your whole life. So
that is so cool. A new hobby. And again, another random benefit of cannabis that you don't intentionally set out to find. But
that was the part I thought might sound cheesy, just because it was like, of course it had to do with cannabis, but it really did.
No, you would be so surprised how many people have found this new unleashed creativity in so many different ways. And you actually remind me of my mom so much, because just recently she discovered that she is really good at like pencil drawings, and she's very artistic, and she does these amazing portraits. And it's just, no one has ever talked about it, but now we have more and more people saying like, I am so creative. I am artistic, talented, whether it be music or in any type of medium, but just that like creativity and that like freedom of expression and enjoyment of doing it is so exciting to hear so many other people say that they're doing it. I'm so excited for you. If you could go back 10, 20, or 30 years ago and give yourself a piece of advice, what would it be?
Try to be less scared. They didn't lie when they said that, you only have one life to live. It's short. Take a few more chances, and, just hope for the best. And it's not always going to work out, and that's okay. You just try again. Just keep trying.
All right. Last question. Are you ready?
Yes.
If you could be remembered for just one thing in the cannabis space, what would it be?
If I could be remembered?
Someone's going to listen to this and you're going to impact someone. If you could leave them with something, what would it be?
Ride it. Just ride it. If you get scared, embrace it and ride that feeling. Just like if you just accidentally took an extra puff or two you shouldn't have. Don't worry about being afraid. Ride it, accept it, embrace it. Tell yourself it is okay to be afraid, but you will be happy. You will thank yourself in the end for just giving it a try. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're one of those people that it just doesn't work out for. I know there's, lots of people out there like that. I do have a friend that tried and just can't, it's just not, just doesn't do it for them. But if you are one of those people that it can help, yeah, I'm telling you, it's a miracle in a candy store full of full of jars. It's a miracle. It's wonderful. I doesn't do all that. It doesn't make
look at you
melt into your couch and not get up.
Not unless you don't want it. Unless you wanted to, you can do that too if you wanted to.
You see, that's one of the things about cannabis that is so unbelievably wonderful to me is that it can be used for so many things. It's so versatile.
Yes,
it being versatile is fantastic. You know, you can smoke a strain that will give you such a body high that you really do want to just enjoy just kind of sitting there, maybe watching a movie or just watching some music videos, whatever you feel like it. You can sit down and do that. But I tell you what, there are some strains that will get you cleaning the house too. It'll get you going.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's a beautiful thing about it. Is you can use it really however you're in the mood for it and tailor it to your lifestyle and make it work for you in a way that is natural and organic.
And step outside. Speaking of natural and organic, step outside. If you've had a little bit of cannabis, step outside and see how much more beautiful things look.
Yes.
To look at the tree in your yard or the tree wherever you are. Just to look at anything in nature, everything seems so much more beautiful because your mind just seems to really grasp every detail and you just appreciate it even more.
It's so special. I couldn't agree more. I feel like, I'm like, oh my gosh, we live in this amazing world. And I'm just so much more grateful and thankful. And like you said, you notice it more. Like in regular life, you're so busy, fast paced. You don't stop to smell the roses. But cannabis is like, you should stop and smell those roses. And they really smell good.
And look at that beautiful color it has.
Yep. And then look at all the leaves and then look at the dirt. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
But it's all beautiful. It really is.
And I'm so glad that anybody who uses cannabis can share that and connect with that. And I'm so glad that you came here and shared your experience with us with cannabis. I can't thank you enough for joining us today. Thank you so much.
I can't thank you enough for giving me the opportunity. I was really excited to do this, and thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. You've finished another episode of the Well with Cannabis podcast and are one step closer to discovering how you too can live well with cannabis. Thank you for listening in today. We hope this episode has been a helpful and informative one. Please visit emilykylenutrition.com for more information on today's show notes, guest information, recipes, and other resources. If you want more support and encouragement on your cannabis journey, please consider joining the private Well with Cannabis community. In this group, you can connect with like-minded individuals focused on improving their health and wellness through cannabis. Join the group today to continue your journey of wellness together at emilykylenutrition.com.